Send to Central Pacific.
Out there is clear. Loud and clear.
In the suspicious Pacific.
2423 live, we'll get them all.
On the Intercom. C7.
In the shadows of our history, there are stories that don't beg to be told. They demand it. They scream beneath centuries of silence, etched in blood, whispered in fire, and branded into the flesh of those who dared to live differently. This is the story of witchcraft. Not the broomsticks or black cats. Not potions and fairy tales. But the real story, the one soaked in terror fueled by hunger, madness, and control. A story of women, of outsiders, of fear, and of a world desperate to make sense of its pain. Today we walk into the dark, not to find witches, but to understand the world that created them. Long before the term witch meant devil's bride or evil sorceress, she was the midwife, the healer, the herbalist, the one who knew how to speak with plants, how to read the sky, how to soothe the sick when priests failed. In pre-Christian Europe, magic was not unnatural. It was survival. Communities had their wise women, keepers of rituals older than the Bible, guardians of forest knowledge unwritten and sacred. But knowledge is dangerous, and when death has arrived, cities rot with corpses. Fields are abandoned. Priests fall silent, their prayers unanswered, and the people ask why. Why has God abandoned us? In times of chaos, reason decays and myth multiplies. When the crops failed and rain didn't stop, Europe didn't look to the sky. It looked to the neighbors, to the strange woman on the edge of the village, to the one with the herbs, the widow, the loner, the one who didn't kneel the way others did. She must be the reason. She must be in league with something darker. In 1486, two Dominican inquisitors, Heinrich Kramer and Jacob Sprenger, write the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches. It becomes the second best-selling book in Europe, behind only the Bible. In its pages, witchcraft is not just heresy, it is treason against heaven, a crime punishable by death. Suddenly, fear has structure, law has claws, and power. Oh, power finds a way to disguise itself as righteousness. Thousands are accused, women mostly, midwives, daughters, anyone who spoke too boldly or blawed too freely. They are tortured until they confess to things no human can do flying at night, cursing cattle, dancing with the devil beneath a blood moon. Confession is not the truth, it is the breaking point, and fire becomes the answer. But was this really about spells and demons? Or was it about something older, more human? Land, inheritance control. A man dies. His land passes to his widow, unless she's a witch. Then it goes to the church. A neighbor wants your property, your silence, your obedience. Call her a witch. Let the courts do the rest. Witch hunts weren't just spiritual, they were political, social, economic, a means of consolidating power by manufacturing monsters. The witch is not just a woman with a wand. She is an idea, a container for fear, a scapegoat for failure. She is the other, the free woman, the sexually liberated, the one who can say no and mean it. To burn a witch is to burn what society fears: autonomy, power, mystery. But symbols are hard to kill, and fire only spreads them further. Europe was not alone. In Africa, in India, in the Americas, accusations of witchcraft followed colonizers like shadows follow firelight. In Salem, Massachusetts, 19 people were hanged in 1692, a small echo of the inferno that had already consumed tens of thousands in Europe. Even today, in parts of the world, people are still executed, ostracized, and tortured for being called witch. The story is not over. So what is a witch? A monster? A healer? A heretic? A feminist icon? Or is she simply the mirror we hold up to society, to reflect all that we fear and refuse to understand? The witch trials were never just about belief. They were about order, about punishing chaos, about controlling the narrative of who gets to live without fear. We love to believe we've left the fire behind, that we've grown. That reason has replaced superstition. But every time we demonize the different, cancel the inconvenient, punish the rebellious, we strike the match again. Witchcraft is not dead. It was never about witches. It was about power, and power. Power never burns itself.